Hello everybody, today I will be demonstrating you the capabilities and features of the TCS Wow sound decoder. I have installed the Wow Wow Diesel 501 sound decoder in this Aristocrat-9 diesel locomotive. TCS also called it 1605. It's an 8-function 5 amp continuous rating 10 amp peak decoder with function ratings of 1 amp. This is the pamphlet that comes with the decoder. It has some instructions. Here's the wiring diagram. As you will see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 light functions or functions on this side, and there's F5 and 6 on the other side, which can be used for light, or they can be used if you turn CV 58 to 9. You can use them to control smoke unit, and that means it will turn one of the buttons to operate both, and it will be pulsed smoke, so the smoke volume will be according to the speed of the engine. The only trouble is that all the function outputs of the decoder, F1 to 4 and F5 and 6, are all 12 volts. So to get the smoking effect, they modulate it. It's PWM modulated. I am not really clear yet as to how that works. I'm trying to find that out. So I have not installed the smoke unit yet, but I have installed some lights. This little guide that comes with the decoder is not really sufficient if you want to do more complicated programming. TCS have on their website, tcsdcc.com, a comprehensive programming guide. They have a sound programming guide, and they have on the Wow Diesel's Wow Sound section a feature where you select the functions that you want or the features that you want, and it tells you how to program it. Based on all those and a little technical help from TCS technical support resulted in my work that you can see here. The locomotive has 2 speakers, one in the fuel tank and the original factory speaker at the top. The reason why I decided to install 2 speakers is because TCS, although it has very good CD quality sound recordings, the sound, especially when idling, is not as loud as I wished. The Wow Diesel decoder, as well as some other TCS decoders, has the so-called audio assist programming menu, which will allow you to set different sounds and lighting options and remap options to certain buttons. And the audio assist, for example, will be staying as loud as you can hear it. You cannot turn the volume down because TCS claim that's how they can prevent people from automatically or accidentally switching the audio assist off. Also, another drawback to the TCS decoder is that you cannot combine functions on a certain output. So with my US8AS4, I have one main headlight here in the locomotive, and I cannot have it to work according to the Rule 17 rule or Rule 17 specifications, and then also have it flashing, or for example to have the auto Morse light function, which is otherwise would be useful. That means when the locomotive is going at a certain speed below a certain speed, then the Morse lights will automatically start working. So with 4 function outputs available for lighting and 2 reserved for the smoke unit, I had to split all the lighting functions into 4 outputs. And because I wanted to have the ditch lights left and right operating as ditch lights do, I needed 2 function outputs for that, and because I wanted a cab light, I needed a 3rd function output for that, which means that everything else, from number board lights to step lights and the little step lights on the body and the end lights there, they're all on the same function output. So let's see what it does. First of all, when you turn the decoder on, when you add power to the track, which in my case means I will just press the stop button here, the sound automatically comes on. Let's hear how it works. It will be quite noisy because I'm in the room, not outside. What I've done is I've set the headlights to rule 17, so I will turn it on now. That means whichever direction the loco is traveling at, according to at speed, the headlight will come on. When the loco stops, it will dim. If I go the other direction, the headlight will come on. When the loco stops, it goes back to dim. So here's how the cab light works, and then with the press of the last button, I get all the other lights operating. Now, one particular thing about the TCS decoder is that you have the so-called sound and light mode. If you press 8,
light mode active.
That means the buttons control lights only. If you press 8 again,
sound mode active.
That means the buttons control only sounds. Now, it's very nice to have, for example, when you have the bell on or when you have the horn on, to have the ditch lights working. And I will just demonstrate to you how that works, because TCS allows, but you have to find it in the literature. I mentioned in the beginning there are several places to search for the information. You will find how to have combined function buttons, and it's possible to combine function buttons so that they operate light and sound at the same time. Now that means if I put, for example, the ditch lights on function 1, which is the bell, in my case, when you go back to light option and you press number 1, it will also bring up the bell. So here's how it works. You see nothing, right? Because we're traveling in the other direction. Now we're traveling in the right direction. Ditch lights. What you notice that initially the ditch lights don't work properly. Now, why is that? Sometimes the TCS decoder doesn't seem to respond in the correct way. Now it's got it working. Now I can use the bell. It will be working as well. So that's some kind of feature of the TCS decoder. I haven't been able to suss out why it happens this way. But once you press 1 or 2 buttons and the function starts working, then it will stay working. Here's the quill. So the ditch lights will remain on for a set amount of time. You can change that. The real problem is that you need to press the button for the quill again to turn the lights off after the blinking is gone, which will bring on the quill again. Now there's 3 types of quill, and again I haven't been able to suss out why pressing number 4 once brings up a different type than the other. But this is something which is not really handy. If you want to use the quill, you press the number 4 button. And now the ditch lights didn't work at all. once again, if I want to get rid of the operating ditch lights, I will press button 4 for the quill again. It will start the quill, but when I press 2 for the longhorn, that will get rid of the quill. It doesn't play two sounds simultaneously, and then it will stop the ditch lights working as well. So here's how I do it. But first let's test the ditch lights. Yeah. That's a fancy ending. I'm not sure if the 3 quills just alternate automatically or what happens, but I have to press the quill button again and quickly afterwards 2 times the longhorn, and then the ditch light's gone. So this is about the features that are available on this decoder. It's simple, the sound is good. You have, for example, 3 EMD 645 non-turbo locomotive sounds, so you can have a lash up of 3 SD45s, for example, and all 3 will have a different sound. So the decoder is nice because it has 13 locomotive sounds, 13 prime mover sounds, lots of horns and bells, and so one decoder can be used and it can be swapped from loco to loco and so on. You don't have to reprogram it, which is convenient. The price is fairly good. You can get it under 150 euros, 150 USD on sales, and it works quite well. It has built-in Keep Alive, which works as well. And I have tested this locomotive pulling relatively heavy loads up heavy gradients. The 5 amp and 10 amp peak is sufficient. Sometimes the audio assist will have a funny rattling sound to it for a second or so, but otherwise the locomotive works great. Obviously I don't have the handrails on because I still need to attach the smoke unit, so I'll have to open the loco up. But this is it. Once again, if something doesn't work, you have to press the button twice or 3 times to get it working, but then it's usually working properly. So here's a demonstration of how it runs. Just listen to the sound and enjoy it. Hope you like this tutorial. See you later. I have now set that with speed to 0, and it's on momentum. One more function that I haven't mentioned is the brake button. If you set momentum to a very long braking distance, you can use, for example, the button 7 to have the loco stop. You can use the button 7 when you're on long braking distance momentum, and you can use button 6 for brake release. I remapped it because I wanted button 6 for the lights. So for me, the brake release button is now button 9. but it's possible to have 5 brake steps, 5 brake percentages. So with 5 or 6 presses of brake button, the loco will come to a gradual halt, and then you can brake release. So for example, you can keep the loco going, apply a brake, revs will go up, but the loco doesn't go. Then you release brake and the loco starts going. There is dynamic brake, it's manual only. Once you press it, you have to change the speed. Once you press the dynamic brake button, you have to change the speed for it to stop, otherwise it will keep going. And one annoying feature is that the rotate bell and rotate horn buttons, when you press it, it automatically goes away to the next one. It doesn't repeat the current one first, so you have to press it several times for the correct bell to come back. And it's the same with the rotate horn button. Okay, see you again. Oh, by the way, you can mute the loco and you can have the prime mover stop. Once again, I had to press the button 12 to stop the prime mover twice before it reacted. Sometimes it reacts on 1 presses, sometimes on 2. It's not very logical, but you can kind of get used to it. It's not very important. And if you don't want to go into serious programming, then this decoder will be good for you, especially if you have separate ditch lights. If you are used to more sophisticated decoders like Zemo, then this decoder will be just a toy. But as I said, it's cheap enough and it does the job to operate the engine and work the basic light things. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.